In a sport that's obsessed with speed, precision and control, I'm going to ask one question today, and that is, does the latest, most advanced tech actually make a difference? Futuristic mountain biking tech is already here. I mean, we have wireless drivetrains, even automatic shifting and automatic suspension. We even have space-aged atomic materials in our tires. But today, I want to try 4 of the most cutting-edge mountain bike upgrades to see if they actually make a difference to just normal riders. So I've got the SRAM T-Type transmission, the wireless group set that is about as slick as a smartphone. And I've also got the latest Fox technology, the Fox Live Valve Neo, which is automatic suspension that should think quicker than you out on the trail. I've also got some ceramic speed bearings for my bottom bracket and an oversized pulley wheel in the rear, which is promising to deliver me almost friction-free performance. I've also got a wheel upgrade that gives me a hub with such fast engagement that it's almost telepathic. But will it all make me a better rider or a faster rider? Well, that's what this video is all about, so come with me. So I've got the Ooyy on today, and this is largely set up as you would buy it off the website. So I've got a mechanical group set here, which is vastly consists of Shimano XT. I've got Fox Performance suspension, and I've got own brand wheels. So I've got the Ooyy rims on a DT Swiss 350 hub. Now, in order to see if the upgrades that I'll be making later in this video will make any difference to me, I need to set a baseline. So I'm going to start by doing a run on one of my favorite descents, set a time, and see if it makes any difference when I start to improve the components. Baseline, let's go. So I've chosen a black downhill trail here called Sheep Skull. It's got a real variety of terrain, from rough routes to smooth flowy corners, and the mix of terrain should give the components a good run for their money. Okay, it is slick, it is rough, it's not rolling fast, but it'll be a very good testing ground for my upgrades. Well, let's get going, shall we? Here on the channel, we often say that upgrading your wheels is one of the best ways to improve the performance, the speed, or the comfort, or even the weight of your bike. So today I'm going to be upgrading my wheels from the standard Ooyy and DT Swiss 350s to the Reynolds and an Industry 9 Hydra hub. Now, I'm going to carbon rims, and I'm keeping the same diameter, I'm keeping the same tires. So the big improvement here is actually the hub engagement. So let's see if the hub tech will actually make a difference. Having more points of engagement in a hub means mind-readingly quick pedal responses. The Industry 9 Hydra hub, for example, boasts an outrageous 690 points of engagement, meaning every 0.52 degrees of pedal movements translates into instant forward motion from your bike. But this isn't just for the sprinters out there. It should speed up canters on rock gardens, tech climbs and quick maneuvers. But the question is, will I notice, and will it actually make me a faster rider? I guess it's time to head back up to the top and do another timed run to see if it's made any difference. Awesome. You know what, I didn't really notice the pickup on the engagement, like going for a pedal, but I did notice there was just almost like lack of resistance in the wheels, and I think that's just good quality bearings. They were just picking up momentum on the flats and the sections that I was freewheeling in. Interestingly, also, in the rough sections, it just felt more comfortable, almost like I was running softer tyres, but I'm not. And the front wheel wasn't pinging and the back end wasn't squirrely, and compliance was just helping me keep a straight line. And I reckon that and the lack of resistance in the bearings is what actually made me quicker, probably more so than the points of engagement, but it doesn't hurt. But anyway, now I want to focus on suspension. Let's do another change. Automatic suspension is the latest tech to hit the mountain biking world, but this has already been around in the automotive world anyway. Now, we've seen these on high-end cars like Porsche, Ferrari, Mercedes AMGs and the BMW M series, and there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to be the latest tech for high-end mountain bikes. But the question is it a decent upgrade for an average rider and a mid-level bike? Let's find out. Imagine your bike's suspension thinking for itself, constantly adjusting, reacting to every bump, every dip in the trail faster than humanly possible. It will stiffen under pedaling and it will soften up on rough terrain without you ever touching a button. Right, automatic suspension engaged, but will it actually make a difference to my riding? I guess there's only one way to find out. Boop, boop. I am flying, I know I am, I can feel it. But is it placebo? That is ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot to unpack here for a small section of the video, but effectively I put it in its firmest mode, which means it feels rigid, it feels like a hardtail, which means it's given me 100% in every corner, and every time I pump the bike, it's like being on a hardtail. But then as soon as you hit any bump at all, anything that hits the front wheel, that is open, like within milliseconds. That shock is like, the bike is a full sus again. I'm genuinely blown away by it, but anyway, I've still got more tech to try. Let's try wireless group sets. Electronic group sets is the latest in drivetrain technology. Now, Shimano Di2, for example, has been around for some years now, and that will allow a shifter to talk to a derailleur via electronic signals through a cable instead of you having to manipulate a physical cable like with mechanical drivetrains. And the latest iteration is SRAM's Axis drivetrain, which talks to each other completely wirelessly. Forgetting cables means this should shift at the speed of electrons. The SRAM T-Type Axis wireless drivetrain shifts almost instantaneously. It promises to be crisp, clean, consistent in shifting come rain or shine, even shifting under full power up a climb. Plus, with its cable-free setup and self-adjustments, it's the maintenance hater's dream. Well, that all sounds great, but will it actually make me a better rider? Let's go find out. Oh, that was cool. The drivetrain is noticeably quiet. Anytime I went over rough terrain, all I could hear was tyres on the ground. and sometimes I'd change gear and I wasn't even sure if it had changed because I couldn't hear it change. It is so quiet. And I think that's the big takeaway here. You know, drivetrains can be very similar, negligible differences, but they offer different things, and it's up to you to decide whether that's worth it for you. But I've got another trick up my sleeve, one final upgrade, and that is ceramic bearings. Let's go. Now, bearings aren't the sexiest of upgrades, I understand, because there's no flashy lights, there's no wireless gears to show off to your friends, but bearings are in almost every moving part on your bike. So if they're not working well, then the overall performance of the bike isn't going to be great either. Ceramic bearings should have lower friction compared to steel bearings. This results in a smoother and more efficient rolling, conserving energy and enhancing speed. Ceramic is also stronger than steel, so they should last longer as well. Now, oversized pulley wheels like this one from Ceramic Speed also improves the chain path through the derailleur, and it promises increased protection against dirt intruding on those bearings. Now, I'm sure it will save the watts for an XC racer, but will it be of use to me on the trails? Let's find out. Every time I do pedal, like now, it's a very light touch and I'm having to move up into a harder gear. That surprised me because I am genuinely tired now. My legs didn't really want to pedal, but every time I did need to pedal on a flat or across a fire road or a smooth section or pedaling out of corners, it was like, oh, I'm in too easy a gear, so I kind of cranked it up. And I guess what's happened here is it just felt like there was such less resistance that I was cranking it up into a harder gear every time. Even off the start line, I went off and I was just cranking it up by like 3-4 gears to get going because it's such a light touch on the pedals. And I guess every time you crank it up into a harder gear, you're going to be going faster. I genuinely didn't expect it to make much difference on a descent, but it has. But yeah, anyway, let's go and add all of this up and get a cup of tea and have a bit of a conclusion. So we started off with a base time of 3 minutes and 22 seconds for my run, and then I upgraded the wheels to the Black Label Trail Pro from Reynolds with the Industry 9 Hydra hubs, and we shaved 3 seconds off our time. Now, bearing in mind, these are $2,299 US, roughly, depending on the model that you choose and where you buy them. That will cost you around about $606 US per second. Now, that's a kind of a fun way of trying to work out whether it's worth the money or not, but time aside, they were noticeably different. The rims were quite compliant. It meant that I wasn't pinging around. I drew a straight line through rough stuff, and that gave me the confidence to ride quicker, and it gave me a nice sort of compliance as well. The hubs, I wouldn't say that I noticed the hub engagement or the pickup that much. What I did notice was that they were fast rolling. They just kept building momentum. I wasn't slowing down so much when I was freewheeling, and that's where I think it really matters. I've certainly noticed picking up speed against friends when I've been freewheeling on fire roads before, and you know that you're picking up more speed with better quality hubs. Saying that, if you are on a serious budget and you want to upgrade, if you have compliant rims already, then maybe it's a good idea to think about investing in some better quality bearings, maybe a bearing upgrade kit to get those hubs faster rolling. So the rear shock, the Fox Live Valve Neo, was just wild, shaving 6 seconds off my time. That's crazy. None of the other upgrades gave me that much of a speed improvement, and the feeling was completely noticeable. It was like riding a hardtail, and then all of a sudden in the rough stuff, it just became a full sus again, and it was very seamless. Now the body of that unit will cost you around about $1,000, and then all of the electronics added onto it and the sensors is another $400. As we go down the list, if we look at the drivetrain SRAM EXO T-type transmission will cost you about $1,200 US. So if we save 2 seconds on our journey, so that would be around about $600 per second. And then the ceramic speed again saved another 2 seconds, which if we add up the oversized pulley wheel, which is just over $600, and also the bottom bracket, which is around about $400 depending on the model that you need, that is about $600 per second. So it seems like it's $400 to $600 per second that you would need to spend to save a second. But there were some genuine feelings and noticeable differences along the way as well, which may be of more value to you than just general speed. The drivetrain was incredibly quiet. It was nice and relatively easy to set up. And the ceramic speed bearings were definitely improved a kind of a light pedaling action. And while it didn't make a great deal of difference when I was freewheeling, it felt like I could crank up into harder gears. And that's just, it's a nice feeling. But yeah, I guess with any upgrade, you have to work out what's important to you. It's not always speed. Sometimes it's durability, sometimes it just feels better and it gives you more confidence to go out and do what you love, and that's mountain biking. But anyway, let me know, guys, down in the comments below. Please join the debate. Let me know, what did you think about this test? What did you think about the upgrades that I used? Have you used any of these upgrades yourself? Do you have an opinion on whether they're worth the money? I want to know. Let's have a debate down in the comments below and I'll join you. Thanks for watching.